Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make yogurt, Greek yogurt, from this powdered yogurt starter. This is just a store-bought starter. You can find them. The name is Yogourmet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but they also have a recipe with that barcode at the back that you can scan and use in making your yogurt if you would not want to follow this recipe. So guys, the first things first, I'm going to start out by measuring my powdered milk, and to this I will be diluting with distilled water. You want to use distilled water rather than anyhow water because you do not want to mix up the bacteria so that the fermenting process would not be different. Okay, distilled water just gives you the guarantee that it's clear water, it has no impurities in it. That is just the reason why you use distilled water. Anyway, this is just 1 kg. This my cup is 1 kg measurement. That's 1 liter measurement, so that is why I'm using this cup. So I will do it in 2 parts, where I would measure this first one and then measure it again. Now I'm transferring this to a pot because I used room temperature water to dilute this milk, and I am going to heat it up. I'm going to heat it up once I measure everything I need out. And don't worry about those little lumps of milk. When you put them on fire, it's going to dissolve and melt away. If not, you can still always strain your milk afterwards to get a perfect finish. So guys, a little bit more about that yogurt starter I bought. They sell each sachet 1,500 naira. I don't know how much they sell it other places, but you can get it from any cake store, baking shop, or supermarket. A supermarket that has a baking shop center, a baking ware center. A supermarket that has a baking ware shelf. You can always find this yogurt starter there. And I do not know if there are other brands of this particular type of starter, but I do know this Please, I will not pronounce the name again, I'm tired. So guys, back to what we're doing currently. I just sieved out my milk after it has gotten to the perfect temperature. Note that your milk should be almost boiled but not boiled. Again, make reference to my previous yogurt video because there the well-detailedness of how to achieve your first yogurt is, I stated it explicitly, everything you need to know. This video is just to show you how to use this starter to make yogurt. So if you've not watched that video, better go and watch it. Okay, so now I just separated a little portion of my milk into a plate. Make sure everything you use is oil free because the oil can actually affect how your yogurt comes out, right? So this bowl I'm using, because it's plastic, I have never used it for anything else except yogurt, just so that I do not contaminate the bowl. Oil never leaves plastic, so be very cautious that whatever you're going to be using will be very clean. So I poured in the powdered yogurt starter into the small portion of milk, and then I'm just pouring that back into the big portion of milk. Now you do not want to do this immediately your milk comes out from the heat. I let mine sit on the counter for 10 minutes before doing this process. Okay, and why you're doing that is because you want this to get to lukewarm stage from very hot, because if it's very hot and you pour in your yogurt starter, you will not get, in fact you're going to kill every bacteria in the yogurt starter that would have promoted the build-up of fermentation for this milk for it to produce the yogurt. So it's never going to get to the yogurt stage, so be cautious of that. Again, make reference to my previous video because I talked about what temperature and how to achieve it without a thermometer your yogurt should be. Anyways, I covered that up after mixing it thoroughly, and I would also put it in a bag because right now the weather is not so hot, so I put this in a plastic bag just to keep that warmness, to maintain the temperature so that the yogurt forms. And now after 8 hours, you can do 8 to 12 hours for this process, and this is just after 8 hours, and I am unboxing this yogurt. Drum rolls please, drum rolls. So let's see if this yogurt came out well, right? Even though it's a bit jiggly, I think it came out perfectly well. Like, it really turned out so amazing. Just look at the texture, perfect. Like, so this is the consistency you want to see. Once it's cuddled up like this, you can then proceed to the next step. If it's not, then try leaving it for a total of 12 hours first. So I transferred this into a sieve, as you know, just so that I can get it from the yogurt stage to the Greek yogurt stage. Mind you, if you do not strain your yogurt, you are not making Greek yogurt. You are making just plain drinking yogurt. Okay, what makes it Greek yogurt is the fact that you have to strain it to make it thicker. When you make it thicker, you make the probiotics more effective. Okay, and now I let it sit in my fridge because I want to stop the fermentation process. So I put it in my fridge to slow that down, and I left it in my fridge for a total of 3 to 4 hours. In fact, a total of 4 hours. You can do 2, you can do 3, just depending on your preference of thickness and how thick you would want it to be. Now, if you're making this for a commercial purposes, you may want to just leave it for an hour or so that you get the most profit out of this rather than for 3 hours. But this is for my personal consumption, so I need it as thick as it can be because I'll be using this to make frozen yogurt. Okay, so I'm just scraping down the sides of my sieve, and guys, please make sure you're using something a mesh sieve like this, something very, very tiny, or a pap siever. That's a pap sieve bag. You know those bag ones for pap. You can also use that instead. Now, this is our almost final product, but not our final product yet. As you can see, this is super thick right now, and I am just going to separate some parts just to use to recreate another yogurt while I make the rest. Now, you can use all this 2 kg of milk to recreate over 6 kg of more milk. Yes, so you don't, the starter, even with the price, you do not have to use it once and keep using that powdered starter. You can just use the powdered starter to make the first base of your yogurt, and then proceed to using this yogurt to make more yogurt. I will be showing you that in this video still, but first let me go into this remaining part of my yogurt. Now I am transferring the remaining yogurt into my blender so that I can turn this into a yogurt drink. Mind you, I am not going to be making Greek yogurt with this particular one, but I will be making yogurt drink, and I added just more whey, that's the extract from the sieve. I added more of it and added a little bit of sugar, and I blended that till it was smooth. Now you can see how runny this is. This is how you know that you're like it's smooth and running, you know you're on the right track. Okay, so this I would leave in my fridge to set for a while. It will still get thicker than this, but because I blended it up, it warmed up the milk, so it made it too runny like this. So when you leave it to sit for a few hours, it's going to still thicken back. And as you can see, I'm just using a plate to do this, just so that I can monitor the thickness and know if it's the right consistency before I pour them in bottles, right? So now that that is done, we're going to go back to our yogurt starter. Remember the yogurt I separated. Now while I was doing the drinking yogurt, I was actually prepping more milk on stove just so that I can use to make the yogurt. Now, just like the same process, heat up your milk, let it cool down, and then proceed to making your yogurt. Now, I just added some raw milk into my yogurt starter to thin it out, because if you just dump the whole thick lump inside the milk, you may not get to spread it out as fine as you should. So just thin it out a little, just the way you see me do now, and then proceed to pouring all of those back into your milk. Now I did another 2 kg of milk using just 350 grams of my starter, which is just the first yogurt that we made. And just know that per kg you will need 200 grams of milk for every kg. So if you had used that 2 kg, which was technically 10 cups of milk, you would be doing up to 8 kg, just to tell you how fast multiplying yogurt can be. The challenge is always in the very, very first yogurt you have to make. And in my next video, I will be showing you how to make yogurt starter from scratch, like from your house. This one is not store-bought again. This one is the one that you're going to be making from your house, and we're just going to be making that with lemon and milk. So after this video, make sure you subscribe so that you can also check out that video. Turn on your post notification, because I'll be posting that video later this week. I know I have been quite slow with posting, but that's because I also run a full-time food business, and that's quite challenging. So give this video a big thumbs up, also hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.